1 and then 2 on the... Can you believe this?
I just can't believe.
I didn't even watch the whole thing, but I watched the first 10 minutes and I turned it off. I'm like, fuck this. This guy's an asshole.
I think it's kind of like your typical 20-something-year-old dude thing. Like you chose something and now you're riding with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm guilty of that all the time. Like I'll say something and realize oh fuck, I don't even agree with that, but I have to ride with it now.
Yeah.
And I feel like Dana did the same thing. He there's no way he thinks Patty truly won that fight or Jared Gordon really lost that fight from a third round.
I was gonna.
Plus, also, isn't that they call me crazy? That is a strategy. Oh, I won the first 2 rounds. Now I just need to survive the third.
Yeah, exactly. Now I need to not get knocked out. Right?
Yeah, it's not like
I get it. It's not maybe whatever, but
I also get not every the whole point of it is don't let the guys get to decision. Knock them out. Submit them. But not every fight ends like that.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean. There's just so much. I mean, there's just so much weird stuff going on. Like you kept saying, he was like, well, his third round plan was horrible. It's like, dude, that's not even relevant.
What about his first round?
How about the judges were horrible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about lead with that?
Yeah. For real.
Whatever.
Real.
All right. Whatever. What is this?
4, 5. I don't know.
You can cut all that together if you want. We are recording.
I put it on because we were getting fiery already. So I was like, I don't know, we gotta do it. But
do we know what?
The first weekend I was ever disappointed in the UFC. Truly
right.
Damn. Example being soccer. We're growing up watching soccer and you see all the cheating allegations and all the scandals going on and everything. I was never disappointed because it was expected.
Yeah.
And then Dana being such a stand-up guy who has a lot of is a very respect-built guy, you know what I'm saying? And then does all this bullshit. I was like, come on.
I agree. I think we were talking about it last night. It's I'm just kind of upset that I don't really like Dana right now or something I don't know how
started
I feel.
with Ariel and then it fucking translates to the Patty fight and it's dude, he's really just...
They just lost so much stock, in my opinion, this weekend, Dana and Patty, with how everything was handled, especially this post-fight presser, but I don't know where you want to start. There was a lot.
Well, let's start with the main event being. All right, welcome to the Throwing Hammers podcast. I don't know what number this is. I'm trying to find
4 or
that
5.
out.
We didn't number the last one.
Yeah, we didn't number the last
That's
one.
my
so
fault, but I can edit it. So we'll say.
We'll stop counting.
Alright,
That's okay.
We'll just roll. We'll just roll.
We'll stop counting. So, welcome to the Throwing Hammers podcast. This is our UFC 282 review. And yeah, we can. Well, I mean, we should start with what happened a month or two ago with the main event being canceled. I mean, I just feel like it's been a shit show with this card, the whole
way.
From the main event getting canceled first.
It was supposed to be Yuri Glover, right? And then Yuri broke his shoulder, needed surgery.
Right.
Glover didn't want to fight Ankalaev.
Right.
Yeah, that's.
And then them making the event, using Jan and Ankalaev as the title fight, which is fine, but I mean, not working it out with Glover, in my opinion, somehow was not right. And I feel like they should have had Glover in this fight, fighting for the belt somehow.
Yeah, especially being a vet.
Right. Exactly. In the last, he was in a war with Yuri. The last fight, he deserved to be in on this card. I felt bad for him, and they got off on the total wrong foot with UFC 282.
Yeah, it was just. I don't know. So, whatever. I'm bitter about that. I'm bitter about paying $85 when a main event is canceled and them not doing anything about it. And then, the card in itself, I thought, had some good fights. I mean, for me, Billy Q, fight of the night.
Yeah, dude, come on.
Seriously, that was amazing.
7 plus 5. 11.
Yeah.
12. It's a hard question.
It is a hard question. It's not the easiest.
Well, and what's funny is what they I saw this on I was looking at Twitter last night on his account, and they asked him about his son, what's his son's birthday or whatever.
Yeah.
And what he said was, as soon as they brought up my son, it's I wasn't thinking about my son until that moment, and then that moment is like when, okay, this guy's never going to be able to keep up with me.
He's gonna have to kill me to beat me. He said.
I saw he was like as soon as I thought of my son, I didn't care about
Yeah.
the cut on my face. I didn't care about anything.
Yeah,
That was
so cool.
that was
So
sweet.
And
that's what I thought was cool that people weren't talking about was like that he revealed, like people were, whatever, they asked him those questions in the corner.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny, but it really motivated him to do something.
To really, exactly. To turn the fight around. Which he did.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Definitely a big Billy Q guy.
Yeah, hopefully I linked up him and Patchy Max. I don't know if you guys have ever talked before, but I hopefully got something going between the two. You guys got to see some respect shown on both sides on Twitter.
From the two Western New York guys.
Yep, 2 716 guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whoever Mike 3 is not on. Is that me?
No.
It's alright. Well, I'm sure I picked up
I think
on the
it
other
is.
Mike.
I'm 2 for sure. I think you're 3.
I'm 3. That's okay.
That's fine.
Technical difficulties, but we're fixed now, so.
I'm glad you caught it. Good
So yeah, huge Billy Q, Patchy Mix fans. Obviously, we're from Buffalo, New York. They're from Buffalo, New York. We like to support our hometown boys. So,
Yeah, definitely.
but even if they weren't, I mean, Billy Q's a great fighter, and I mean that really kind of one of those fights where, like some of the other fights in this card, weathered the storm in the first round, got beat up, but really kind of outpaced him. And just showed that he has no quit and his cardio is unbelievable.
Oh yeah, fucking awesome.
So great fight. I mean, I thought fight of the night. Dana picked Till and Duplessis, but
whatever.
Yeah, and then Duplessis was talking about Till after the fight, and it wasn't like disrespect or anything. He pretty much said like Till's a great fighter. He's got a good fight IQ, but he's too small to fight here. Probably has to go down a little bit. But then when he was in the weight division below, he was too big. And like he was having a problem making weight all the time. So it's like he's too small, too big.
Caught in the middle a little.
Yeah, he should probably at this point in his career and like with the losses and everything, obviously take it with a grain of salt. But like maybe transition into that coaching position, maybe get into a corner, maybe just like stick with Kamzat as he's riding and rising, and you can ride with him.
Be a part of Kamzat's team. I feel bad for him. He said he tore his ACL. I mean, there was that weird like Duplessis got him in this like leg lock, and he like rolled over and rolled over.
yeah,
rolled
you could
over.
see like his leg got caught behind him or something.
Yeah, and he kept rolling with
Yeah.
him, but that had to have been when he tore his ACL.
Yeah.
And they were saying, I think DC was saying like, yeah, when you tear your ACL, you can walk on it. You're just gonna have to go like reconstruct your whole knee basically.
Yeah,
after.
shout out Scott Hainsworth who tore his ACL JV soccer sophomore year, still scored a goal.
Wow, that's incredible.
That was crazy. Or maybe it was your MCL. I don't remember. You tore something and you still scored.
Either way, that's crazy.
Yeah, so
That's crazy.
So great fight there. I don't know if there's any other prelims you guys want to talk about, but there's I'm just looking at the list here, but
Yeah, I mean,
seems like let's see, going backwards.
oh, Rosas Jr. we could talk about for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean he
Dana,
obviously making
I need that
his-
$50K to get my mom a minivan. I don't have my license yet.
Yeah, obviously Raul Rosas Jr. making his UFC debut, 18 years old, against Ryan Perrin. Really, took us back immediately, and basically the fight was over.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
really
I mean,
amazing. Yeah,
the kid talked a big game after the Contender Series, was saying, he sees flaws in Oliveira's game and everything, so he had to go do this. You know what I mean? He's fighting Ryan Perrin. He had to go, if he's talking all like this, I was expecting this from him.
Jay Perrin, by the way.
Oh,
not Ryan
Jay
Perrin. Yeah, sorry.
I was gonna say-
sorry, Jay.
No, I know a kid named Ryan Perrin. That's probably why you said it.
yeah, gotcha.
What's or actually never mind.
All right, so not much to say on that. Obviously, it was total dominant rear naked choke, 244 the first round. But yeah, obviously dominant there. Another one we kind of skipped over maybe was Chris Curtis, Joaquin Buckley. I thought that was a pretty good fight.
For sure. I thought Buckley had it in the bag, and then Chris Curtis came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. If you noticed, I know the announcers were commenting on this too, but I mean, Curtis was doing a really good job of blocking a lot of those punches.
For sure, a lot of
His
shit was
hands
getting
were super
checked.
high.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the one thing that was on display in this fight too, was he knew that Buckley wasn't going to shoot on him. And that's why he was having his hands so high. It's like if Buckley, these guys that are one dimensional, are just hurting themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was it now my brain's a little foggy because we watched Bellator and we watched UFC this weekend. It was the first weekend we really doubled down and watched 2 full cards.
Yeah.
Who's the guy lower level guy, prelim guy, whether it was Bellator or not. He had like long curly hair. His dad was like a karate master, and he was like
Silva or something.
Silva. Yeah. They were saying that like it was like, this is like so random, but it's kind of crazy. He was like supposed to be like a very like diverse fighter in the sense of like his dad was a karate instructor and he grew up as a striker, and then he went and got his black belt in BJJ from like some crazy good jiu-jitsu coach, and then he ended up throwing away all of his striking, barely struck the entire time, hasn't really struck in the UFC, and just relies on grappling.
Yeah.
And it's like those are the guys that fade and fizzle out real quick.
I was
like,
gonna say he ended up getting submitted.
yeah,
in
and that's
third
the
round.
and that's the crazy thing. It's like that's then where are these black belts coming from? Like
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, the one-dimensional fighters, it seems like it makes it very easy for the other opponent because they only got to worry about one thing. You always see, like, in a fight when someone shoots, then like the other fighter is like totally fighting different now because he's got to worry about that.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. And Curtis didn't have anything to worry about.
Right.
That was the thing.
Right. That's cool.
All right, so getting back, Chris Curtis, yeah, I mean, good defense. Buckley was throwing a super high amount of volume. I think they said he was going to be projected to throw over 300 strikes if the fight went the distance. So
Yeah.
crazy amount of volume from Buckley, and but Chris Curtis caught him. Just shows you, caught him with one clean left hand as he was kind of falling backwards, which they thought that maybe got tripped, but really caught him with one clean left hand and then ground and pounded him out. I mean, it was...
Yeah, I saw two funny tweets from Chris Curtis. One not so funny, one just kind of cool insight. He said, you said he kept his hands up like that. He said the amount of punches that he took to his shoulders and arms, he said his face didn't even hurt the next day. His arms were in such pain because all those punches he took to his arms. Yeah.
Had to, yeah.
And then I saw another funny tweet. He posted a picture of this awesome homemade meal, and he said, I have a little old Italian lady who lives in my apartment complex who loves me and follows my career, and I came home to ribs and lasagna.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it looks so good.
It looks so good. It
was
so
like,
good, yeah.
You know, like when somebody makes like Italian food and they put it in those little like disposable tin things. It's like moms start using them when they don't get enough Pyrex back type of beat. Like you just like bake it in there and give it to somebody. Like red sauce tastes so much better out of that because it gets like all like. Anyways, it's so good.
No, yeah, I thought that was cool. It was a great win for Chris Curtis.
Yeah, it is a good win.
He was coming off. He took a fight short notice a couple weeks ago too, right? I believe he did.
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know. He did fight
I'll
recently,
fact check,
but
I'll fact check.
fact check yourself there.
Oh, you know, it's a weird question, but you know how Raul Rosas Jr.'s 10-7 in his pro MMA career? Where the hell is he fighting and when? You 17 fights and you're 18?
And you're 18? Yeah, I don't know.
What, you fought 17 times last year?
I did think about that.
Because I don't also think, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would assume that it doesn't matter if you're 15, 6'5", 280. They're like not 280, like 220.
Yeah.
They're not going to let you fight in a pro fight. You got to be at least 18.
Yeah, right.
So it's like, did he fight 17 times this year, or did he get like some special like Jonathan Tavares treatment in the NHL, like exceptional status to fight when he was 17?
Probably his amateur status, since he's been fighting probably since whatever.
Yeah.
15, 14, who knows?
Yeah,
But,
maybe they take.
but I know
those
his
into account,
parents
just have
had
something.
to for him to be on the was it Ultimate Fighter he was on? Or
Yeah.
whatever that show is.
Contender series. Right?
Contender
Yeah.
series. Okay, used to be whatever.
It used to be ultimate. Yeah.
I know he had to get his parents' permission, like they had to sign something.
Yeah, like waivers and everything.
On that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna be cool to follow. Definitely. I don't know. He's young. He's got a long way to go.
Well,
but
super
he's
talented, obviously, and
super big.
I mean, Jay Perrin is a UFC veteran, and he kind of took care of him. So
Yeah.
I saw some Mexican MMA analysts saying that he's probably going to make his way to the belt before Moreno did. And like he could be like one of the bigger Mexican fighters ever,
That would
which
be
I was like,
awesome.
that's pretty sweet.
He was, he was good on the mic too. He was working the mic after the fight.
Well, that's the thing
He's
too. Like
he's
I
got it.
hate that everybody's like just comparing him to Donnie from the Wild Thornberrys, because like first off, Donnie sounds way fucking cooler. Second, like the kid's got a cleft lip. Cut him a break. Like Jesus Christ.
exactly.
Like
I know.
Like it's like I just don't understand sometimes. Like I'm also not trying to be like good guy Joe. I'm a dick, but like what I'm saying is he can't help that. Like
No,
you
yeah.
can do anything else. Like
Yeah, the people that on Twitter that mock how he talks is just ridiculous.
because he'd
and
beat
I
the
saw-
fuck out
I
of
was
him
gonna
too.
say,
It's like
yeah,
you'd
he's-
never say
I
that
was
to
gonna say,
him.
you
I'd
would-
never say
you
that
would
to
never,
him.
That's the thing about MMA Twitter, dude.
Be
It's
like,
like,
hey
these
man, cool
guys,
voice.
these guys that talk shit on Twitter, it's like you're talking shit. You're not talking shit to some like, I don't know. You're talking shit to a fucking dude who fights for a living.
Yeah, I just said some trash shit to Justin Gaethje earlier. He'd kill me. He'd beat the shit out of me. Wouldn't
exactly.
even be fair.
It's just crazy.
One punch and I'd
exactly.
die.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, one tweet I saw was from Dylan Dennis, but he retweeted one of those stupid videos about him. Of course he did, because he's an asshole, Dylan Dennis.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. He's also like a scammer. Like, you see all that shit he tweets where he's like, favorite this and I'll send everybody who favorites it $100. It's like, Dylan, you don't have
Dude, you're
55 grand to give away when 5,500 people like this.
it's clear that he's scrounging for attention.
Yeah.
That's just what he does.
He should just fight instead, but whatever.
And it's like ironic too. Everyone, because he's been around for like years, obviously, since like he's been in Connor's corner.
Yeah.
And people for years have been saying like, when are you going to fight an MMA fighter? When are you going to fight? You're like the most washed MMA fighter of all time. And then who's he going to get a fight with? He literally just locks in a money fight with KSI.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
It's dumb. But
And
that's,
I don't know.
I feel like that's the direction some of these guys are going. And there's
Isn't it a boxing match too?
Yeah.
And he's a black belt, so he's like going away from his.
That'll be good.
Yeah, I mean, maybe KSI will win.
Whatever. We'll see what happens. Yeah. So, all right, moving on. I don't know. We could talk about Rosenstrike for 23 seconds.
Oh, dude, I forgot that was on the prelims.
So,
Fuck, yeah. I was
so
gonna say.
obviously he came out guns a-blazing. Chris Dawkins could not handle that. I mean, it was
Bummed me out.
It's just tough. I like Chris Dawkins a lot.
too.
It's too bad. But Rosenstrike clearly had a game plan to overwhelm him coming out there and did it. I mean, it was over before we even knew it. So
I like the Dawkins commentary though. Like, I feel like that's like where his direction's gonna be in the next couple years. Like how we were saying, Darren Till might go into a corner or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Dawkins has a cool personality, but he got the shit beat out of him, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, you never like to see a guy go in there and just like not do anything. You know what I mean? Like just because he did do the whole fight camp and everything and this and that and like whatever. He's a tough guy. He'll
yeah, it's too bad he couldn't survive that first onslaught, because then if you survive it, then who knows what happens. I mean, maybe it's he gets past that and Rosenstrike gets tired, obviously.
Yeah, these guys are heavyweights.
See what happens.
Rosenstrike might have been gassed in the next 2 minutes.
Yeah. But super accurate punches by him, and congrats to him, because it was awesome. Yeah. It was an awesome fight. It was awesome to see him come out and take care of business right away. And
Fights like that too, like they make me wonder. Like, did he wake up feeling okay?
Yeah,
like,
seriously, like.
I feel like there's so much wiggle room for error in like fighting, in the sense of like you can wake up and if you have like a minor headache, like you're like 10% down. Like you're not fighting.
Right.
Like there's definitely been multiple days at his fight camp where he looked like he was gonna beat the shit out of that guy. Yeah, otherwise he wouldn't have gone. Like,
exactly.
I don't know. That definitely wasn't the
that's
best
the
he's
thing
looked
too. I
towards.
heard, I think it was Sean O'Malley was saying that up until the fight, it's like even what you put in your body. Like some of these guys make weight and then they're just eating fucking cheeseburgers and spaghetti, the day before the fight or whatever. Yeah. And obviously that hurts them, because it's like that's not what you should be doing. You still got to maintain some to keep your body, and you're going into a fight. You got to be tip top shape.
Yeah, Dawkins looked like he had a couple Big Macs before the fight. Yeah, for sure.
That's a good point though. Is like I feel like fighting specifically, other athletes, they wake up with a headache, they can still get it done or whatever. But you're going into a fight and you got a headache, or even something small like
even
that.
Even if you're just like you wake up a little pissed off that day, not in a good mood, like
not 100%.
That's what I'm saying. Like you got to be so dialed where like even if the other guy isn't as good of a fighter, if he's locked in and he's dialed and feeling like 110%, like you could get your shit rocked. It's like one mistake.
Exactly.
Yeah, and even if you're feeling great, that's what the greatest thing about this sport is, that you never know what's going to happen. Right. So you could go in feeling great, get caught with a punch, and you get caught, whatever, behind the ear or something knocks you off balance. The fight could be over. So but whatever. That was 23 seconds of chaos for Rosenstrike and Dawkins there, but got it done. So
there you go.
All right, we already touched on Rosas Jr.
Yeah.
Great fight there.
They were saying like Till should come back and fight Buckley, but I think Buckley buckles him.
Yeah, dude.
He just
Till's
throws so
170,
much.
isn't he? Is Till 170?
Middleweight 180.
185.
Yeah.
Till's 185, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bigger dude.
Well, wasn't that like the whole thing with like he was too big for welterweight and too small for middleweight? And Duplessis was like, he has a high fight IQ and he's a good fighter. It's just he's gotta find his spot and lock it in. It sucks. Also, he's like 30 now.
Yeah.
Which also like not out of your prime in fighting. You probably got another 5 years before you really got to retire. But
Could be argument for more weight classes. If there's more guys that are struggling to make the jump one way or the other, could be a better argument to have something in the middle. I don't know.
Yeah.
15 pounds is kind of a big difference.
Yeah. Maybe you have 178 or something.
I was thinking about that the one day, and I feel like the only reason that they probably don't do it is like you probably like kind of wash a little bit of the talent out of each division.
100%.
Like it's
Spreads it
gonna,
more thin.
yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
And it would be sweet though, but like I don't know, like
Yeah.
high school wrestling, there's like divisions every couple pounds, and it's like there's
Yeah.
like 4 guys in this division. Like, like you were telling me there was a kid at your high school who nobody in the entire section had the same weight as him. He was so small,
so
so
small.
he would get a win
Oh, yeah.
every single match
was
like-
because no one would wrestle him.
Yeah, I think maybe like they found one guy, but like I'm pretty sure he was like almost undefeated.
Yeah.
And he never really it was crazy. And
Never
they just took the
wrestled.
points or whatever. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember that happening in my high school too. When I had a few friends that were wrestlers, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds familiar that was going on.
Yeah. Huh.
Like you get a win because, well, maybe it was because the other guy didn't show up.
Yeah.
Or something, or did make weight or
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So yeah. So whatever. All right, let's move on. Main card. Main card was good. I thought. Tapura obviously looked amazing. For all his shit talking in the press conference, which was mostly directed at Patty. But really, really looked good, and it was a good fight. Bryce Mitchell put up a pretty good fight, but Tapura just looked like stronger, faster on the ground. Even it was.
Yeah, he outclassed him in my opinion. He looked just a step above. I think this Taporia guy could be.
He's
going to
be champ.
Problem.
He's sick.
I'm just saying, Bryce Mitchell is a really good fighter, and he made him look like maybe not such a good fighter. I don't know. Wow, I was really impressed. That's what I wanted to say about him. I was really impressed.
Yeah. But it goes back. This goes back again. I think to the not common theme, but what I've been thinking about lately is that, these one-dimensional fighters. Bryce Mitchell's, obviously was exposed in this fight for not being a boxer and tried to shoot on him a number of times or
Couldn't get it done. Yeah.
got him down a couple times, but he was literally shooting on him every couple.
Right.
And Bryce, his
Every
only
exchange.
good win is Edson Barbosa, who's also washed and old now. I feel
Yeah.
like I don't think anybody could name another person that he beat.
Yeah.
And I think that this is probably going to be the start of the stop of the Bryce Mitchell train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Edson Barbosa was the win, his last win before he lost to Tupuria.
Right.
I don't know, unless they throw him a bone, he's probably just
Yeah, it's a good point. He beat Edson Barboza, who might not be a boxing threat either. More of a grappling matchup in that fight. I don't know.
Yeah, but
I don't
I don't know. I don't think he's gonna be done, but I think it's I think it just shows that these guys got to work on their complete game.
I just don't think he could be champ.
Yeah. No, yeah. Not.
He's probably like his peak, like his ceiling is probably like 7 or 6.
Yeah.
But it just shows you too. There's been other guys. Even Usman, right before he started working. Who's the boxing coach that he works with?
Trevor Whitman.
Yeah. Listen, after he started working with him is when his boxing got really good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was a good boxer, but after that, so it shows you. Guys can.
I was gonna say, I think
That's why I
guys
worry
can
about
train
Bryce
on
though.
it.
He trains in his barn.
he's got to
Yeah.
leave.
He's
got to leave Arkansas. Yeah, and
he's
if
got to
he
go to ATT.
and if he wants to be,
Yeah.
where I
Trevor
stand in the
Whitman.
valley of death, I face nothing, I fear nothing. Get the fuck out of here, dude. You're a clown. And it's like you're gonna do all that shit and act like you're big and like go fight at the American Top Team. Go get a good gym and
Yeah.
learn and fight and do better. Otherwise, you're gonna fight somebody who actually is a real fighter like Ilya Tapiria, and you're gonna be standing there with your hands on your knees, dripping blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
is exactly what happened.
That's what he has to do. He has to probably get in with a guy like Trevor Whitman who can transform a guy's career.
Like
Because we have seen that. We've seen guys like Kamaru who obviously were not at the level ahead of Bryce Mitchell at the time, but totally transformed a part of his game. That's what Bryce is gonna have to do. Yeah, because
Right.
totally exposed.
Usman, I think his first fight after training with Whitman was Gilbert Burns, I think.
Yeah.
And really outclassed him on the feet. Just took him down. He got hit with one good. I remember that fight. So, well, not to get off on a tangent, but Burns hit him behind the ear, took him down, and then after that, it was all Usman boxing.
Right. Right.
So, whatever, good fight, but another one.
Taporia is legit. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, yeah, well rounded. That's the thing, and that's what stood out in this
Yeah.
Really took care of Bryce Mitchell on the feet and then on the ground too. So
Yeah, I ended up
just better on the ground.
submitting him, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Triangle choke, triangle choke. Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Impressive.
So, all right, good deal. Let's move on. Darren Till,
Versus
Dricus
Dricus.
Duplessis. Yeah.
One cool thing I'll throw out before we get into it. So Dricus is from South Africa. He fought at 5 a.m. time in South Africa, and all the bars in his hometown stayed open all night. So everybody was watching him at like 5 a.m. their time, which is pretty cool. So I just wanted to.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. So I think all of us thought that Till wasn't going to make it out of the first round. I mean, Duplessis. I mean, he really just threw him up against the cage.
Just a bigger guy.
Pounded him. Yeah. I mean, it was a lot of punches taken by Till, but
I mean, Till had to literally turn around to Mark Smith and plea to not stop the fight. He said, "I'm fine. I just can't move."
That was like 30 seconds in. It seemed like he was saying that. Yeah.
Because I think what they were saying after was Mark was yelling, "I'm going to stop the fight. I'm going to stop the fight," or whatever. Because you're taking 40 unanswered punches, not 40, but 20.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
A lot. He blocked a lot of them at first, but it seemed like when he switched around, Duplessis was throwing his left hand, and then when he switched around and was throwing with his right hand, and Till was on the other side, that's when he really did some damage.
Yeah. I mean, this was definitely, I think we were going in. I was definitely favoring Till in my mind a little bit. I wanted to see him come back. Like you said, he was struggling with the weight divisions. I wanted to see him get a win. But I don't know. I thought it was good. I don't know.
I thought for sure he was going to win just because, training with Kamzat, I just thought he would, have not really wanted to stand up and wanted to just go to the ground and control Duplessis, but it just didn't work out.
And
like
that's
that.
one thing I thought, too, when I was watching that fight is that he trains with Hamzat. Why isn't his takedown defense better?
That's,
You know what I mean? He got taken down. He didn't block any takedowns.
Yeah.
He got taken down every time.
I was going to say, I think that they did mention that, too.
Yeah.
Dricus was successful on every takedown attempt.
Every takedown attempt. Yeah.
I mean, man, he did look like the bigger guy in there. You know what I mean, too.
What's tough, though, too, is, if you're comparing it to, the last fight, Topuria looked, really, really good, but, Duplessis looked just like a good fighter. You know what I mean? Just average.
Yeah.
He didn't look like somebody where I'm like, oh, that guy's going to be champ one day.
Oh,
and that's why, it also kind of, that's where my thought of, maybe you should go to the corner, Darren. Start coaching.
Yeah. So, I thought Till, obviously got beat up in the first round, but he looked good throughout the fight. On his feet, he looked good. Second round, obviously, was Till won the second round, but Duplessis, after the fight, admitted that basically he took off the second round to recover from the first round.
Yeah.
And you could see that in the third round. I mean, he dominated him in the third round. So
yeah, one thing I did want to throw in there, too, I saw a little video. I know there's so many stuff after the fights or whatever, but Till was walking out, and Bruce Buffer stopped him and said, "Hey, you all right?" And he said, "Nah, I tore my ACL." And Bruce was like, "Do you want them to know that?" And he was like, "No," whatever, and walked away. So pretty commendable by Till. He didn't want whatever. Bruce literally was about to tell everybody whatever, let people know that Till tore his ACL, and he's like, "No, I don't want anybody to know."
Yeah.
So obviously everybody knows now. But
Yeah.
Yeah, you
At
could
the
tell
time.
something was wrong. That was that in the third round that happened or second round? I know it was a scramble
I don't
on the
remember.
ground,
Yeah.
but he kind of bent his leg back or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so good win for Dricus. I mean, now he's top 10, and hopefully he fights somebody in the top 10 in that division. I mean, he deserves it now.
Yeah, it's a good win over Darren Till, whether he was come back or not. It was a good win for sure.
It is. It's a good win for him. So, all right, so we can move on to that. Santiago Ponzinibbio defeated Alex Moreno.
I think they were saying Moreno in the thing.
No, it's
Moreno.
unrestricted. They can show up at any weight.
Oh yeah. Okay, catch weight. So
Yes, this is a catchweight fight. Alex Moreno was short notice. Robbie Lawler had to drop out. So
They should put their weight on there.
I was gonna say they don't have their weight. It just says catch weight. So I don't know exactly what they fought at. But yeah, like you said, Robbie Lawler dropped out. So Alex took the last minute fight, and man, he looked good the first 2 rounds. I mean, he really did. And then, they were saying that Moreno too. He's like he's the head of some gym or whatever. So he's like, I don't know. They were talking about how he's he's one of those guys that's just always in shape, always ready to fight, always sharpening his skills, always he's going home and studying how he can teach his students better and things like that. And it really showed. I mean, it really did. he's not that big of a name guy. I wasn't really familiar with him before this, but he really impressed me in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, I
He
feel
did
like the
lose. He got
UFC
knocked
has
out,
it's like a stable of guys that it's like the bullpen, right? The guys that are always ready, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
obviously not everybody, but there's a bunch of guys that can just like, hand pick for some of these fights. Obviously not the main event for this card,
Right.
but yeah, awesome on him for showing up and
Yeah.
and looking really good.
Yeah, and then Ponzinibbio caught him with a it was maybe I'll even throw it up if I can find it, because the knockout, like he hit him and then it was pretty gruesome. Like you saw his jaw like go like move or whatever, and then hit him again, stop the fight, and he actually at first thought they shouldn't have stopped the fight or whatever. They were like he was complaining to the ref, but he clearly just didn't know, obviously. But yeah, man, it was good. It was just cool to see. I always like seeing a guy take a fight on short notice and do really good or like whatever, like give the fans like I feel like when guys take fights on short notice, they're doing it like almost for the fans. You know what I mean? They want to go out there and give the fans a good fight, and when they do, it's just awesome.
Yeah, and it was great. I mean, it's obviously to walk into the main event, the main card on the third fight on the card. It's not like he's walking into. I think some of this happens in the prelims and we don't even know about it. I think there's guys that take fights on short notice.
Right.
Even if I feel like I'm like sometimes I'll scroll ahead and look at the cards. Even like a couple weeks before, like some fighters are listed and they don't have an opponent yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think a lot of these guys sometimes we don't know how long they training camps are or whatever, but this one obviously to come in on the main card is admirable.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good point. I bet you a lot of these early prelim fighters don't get the 8-week, 6-week training camp that they really want a lot of the times, you know what I mean? Like focusing on a specific guy, you probably got to work your way up there to get.
But these guys that own gyms and whatever, they're training all the time, like him, and there's a bunch of guys that do the same thing. So I think there's guys that are ready to fight, when they're called upon. So
for sure.
Yeah, so good on him.
Yeah.
Go to the co-main events.
Yeah, I was gonna say Patty
and Jared Gordon. I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts on this, but what do you guys think?
I don't even know where you want to. I mean, I don't even know where you want to start.
All right. I don't know. Let's start with I thought Jared Gordon looked really good. I thought he was catching Patty with the left hand probably 15 times. And
Patty's chin was.
And there just was no there. The thing was there with Patty. I noticed like there was no adjustment.
Yeah. He
just kept getting caught with that, which maybe he didn't respect the power of Gordon or whatever, and he didn't get knocked down or anything. But I mean, to take that many left hands to the face without, and that's always been Patty's thing, right? He walks in with his head up. He walks in close distance, his chin is up. And his corner kept telling him, which I think he corrected, get your chin down when you're walking in or whatever.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense to me either, because how could he not correct that when in his training camp?
I was gonna say that's like the typical high school kids fighting. They go like this. You lean back and you want to protect yourself, and you're not even trying to hit somebody. You're just throwing.
That's what I mean.
Right.
If you're coming in and he's got his chin up, I mean he's gonna get caught. And I think it's happened in every one of his fights, really. I mean, he's gotten caught, maybe not the last one.
Well, that was a big
against
criticism.
Jordan Levitt, but before that, it wasn't easy going for him. He got caught.
No, yeah,
a bunch of times.
I remember him saying like people like maybe it was in a post-fight presser or what. They were like, oh, like people are knocking you for taking so much damage, and he's like, oh, it's a fucking fight, isn't it? Like or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's a good point, but at the same time, he clearly doesn't have much regard for the damage he's taking.
Yeah, and we'll see if he gets knocked out someday. We'll see. I mean, it's similar to Gaethje, right? I mean, Gaethje walks in and just is going to let you hit him in the face because he knows that he's going to hit you in the face.
It's just like Gaethje's like far better at dirty boxing than Patty, where like he can do that and like be successful. Like Patty's not built for dirty boxing either. Like you got to be like short, stout, and like be wanting to get in close and throw punches like that. Like Patty should be like fighting fighting Jared Gordon. You should be throwing, striking, and playing the distance the entire time and keeping him away. Let him shoot on you, push him down, and just beat the shit out of him. Patty fights like he's dangerous on your back and on his back. Yeah. Keep him at a distance, let him shoot, and then finish him on the ground.
Definitely.
Yeah, I thought there were a few times where Patty's on the ground. I thought maybe he was gonna choke him out because he had the right position on his back
His
and stuff.
face the one time, I thought he went.
Yeah.
Like he looked like he was giving it everything he had, but it wasn't a guillotine. It was like a neck crank or something like that. He was like trying to just squeeze the life out of him, and like you could tell he gave it everything he had.
Yeah.
So I thought a few times he had him down in the right position, just couldn't finish. And on the feet, I don't know. I just thought Jared Gordon looked way better on the feet. I mean, Patty had moments where, he'd throw combinations, but I thought Gordon blocked a lot of that.
Yeah.
I didn't think that he caught Gordon with a ton of clean punches, whereas Gordon definitely caught Patty with, probably 15 left hands that seemed like
That
they
were like-
landed.
Yeah. Flush to the face. I mean, Patty's talking about boxing Jake Paul and this shit after this fight too. I mean, just we're talking about keeping his chin up and everything. Like, man, what do you like? You're gonna get knocked the fuck out. I don't know, dude. Like, if he fights anybody who is a specific boxer, you know what I mean? He's gonna have a real problem. Unless he, the thing is though, people make adjustments. This keeping his chin up was a huge deal. This fight, you know what I mean? It's probably gonna get adjusted. It's probably next time we see Patty fight. It'll probably be a little,
I don't know. Is he that smart though?
I feel like we might have found Patty's ceiling.
That's been his thing for ever since he came in the UFC. That people have been saying that.
I know, but I don't know. I mean,
I know it's only his third fight, or whatever. But
I think it's his fourth.
But I mean, if he's not making those corrections by now, what is he doing?
Yeah. But this is also the best guy he's fought, and that's kind of like Bryce Mitchell too. We're like, what's gonna happen when one of these guys fights somebody else? Like Bryce got the Ilya fight and got shit rocked. Jared Gordon ultimately didn't shit rock Patty Pimble, but he beat him and got robbed. And then what happens when Patty fights a top 10 guy? Like, he's done. He's just going to get killed.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was texting you, yesterday, whatever. And like, I was thinking to myself, it's like the way they fast tracked O'Malley to the top. And are they expecting to do that with Patty? Like, are you kidding me?
Can't.
Can you imagine him fighting Chandler or Gaethje?
Or
Poirier?
Come on, dude. He's dead.
I mean,
I just think Chandler, Gaethje, all three of those guys kill him in the first round.
Yeah,
right.
First round,
right.
They overwhelm him. They
right.
It's a Dawkins Rosenstrike in my opinion. In my opinion,
100. After seeing this,
Kamzat Holland.
Yes,
100%.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
So he's, in my opinion, he's nowhere near ready to fight anybody in the top of the division.
Which obviously, like you say, he could get better. I just feel like we might have found not his ceiling, but like. Kind of like the ceiling, like kind of like where his capabilities are at currently. Like right now, this is as good as we're going to get.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? I mean, this is like way old school, and I am only saying this because I watched like a documentary, but it reminds me of like when Tito Ortiz was coming to the UFC. He was talking this big game. They were playing him up, and then like I remember he got in the cage with Chuck Liddell, like training, and he took one punch from Chuck Liddell, and he like had to get out of the cage. Yeah. And this reminds me of that too. It's like they're hyping him up. They're hyping him up. He's talking this big game. He's one of the biggest names in the UFC. And he fights a real guy, and he's like, "Holy fuck, this guy's not that good."
Well, right, and that's the thing. If you talk a big game, great. You can do all the talking you want, but you got to win.
Like look at Connor's fourth fight. Knocked him out in the first round.
Right. That's the difference.
Everybody wants to be
Conor McGregor.
Got to win.
He fucking won.
He fucking won.
And
two
wins
belts.
handily.
He was the first one. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
It's like,
he won 2 belts held at the same time, first ever. Got to do that.
Patty's
Who was
talking
second,
all this.
Cejudo?
Who's the second double champ?
Is it Cejudo?
Cejudo, yeah.
Cejudo, yeah.
Yep.
Good shit.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You can talk all the shit you want, like I said, but you got to win. Like you got to go in there and win. And I'm sorry, he didn't win this fight.
No.
He did not win this fight.
I think his post-fight interview with Joe Rogan, too, just showed a lot of his character.
Oh.
Like, Sean O'Malley had the complete polar opposite response in a much bigger fight, honestly. And he was like, I got to watch it back. I don't have an answer for you. I got to, like, respectfully watch it back. And he's like, oh, it wasn't close, Joe.
It wasn't close.
You're fucking kidding me? I can't even fucking read.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, I think you just, like, I don't know. I could not believe his post-fight his post-fight interview with Rogan. I was just listening to that thinking, what a fucking idiot you are.
Yeah. What about Rogan's reaction compared to Dana's? Like, I tweeted a video of Dana's reaction that was cropped from Dave Portnoy's Twitter video of hearing it.
You posted the Rogan.
And you posted the Rogan. Both videos did numbers.
Yeah.
And it's like they were polar opposites. Like, Dana's like, I told you. Like, I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, so the video I got
Rogan's
was
like-
from the Schmo, who was, I think I don't know if it was his actual video, but he's the one that I saw that posted it, but it was crazy, the reaction to, and Rogan was standing right next to Bilal Muhammad.
Yeah.
When the decision, and he looked over and was just like,
Which also was pretty cool to see Bilal Muhammad in Jared Gordon's quarter.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Bilal's like such a good, like he is like a boring fighter, but like I feel like a fighter like that is like the epitome of somebody you want in your corner. Like you want the safe, smart, like high fight IQ fighter in your corner who's going to coach you through.
He's another perfect example. Guy we maybe thought was one dimensional, but how did he beat Sean Brady? Beat him on the feet.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
Jared
Gordon kind of looks like Bilal Muhammad a little bit.
Yeah. Well, do you remember what I said?
does, yeah.
During the fight? I was like, okay, so hear me out. Hear me out. You've had a couple drinks. You're sitting on the couch. You're watching the fights. You might have been like, I don't know, just like, whoa, wait a second. Why does that look like Ariel Helwani's cousin fighting Patty Pimblett?
It does look like Ariel
I was like,
cousin.
I was watching. I looked at Jared and I was like, looks like Ariel if in like another world he chose to be a fighter and like took his glasses off to fight. He's got the beard, he's got the shaved head, and he's fighting Patty. And I think that might have played a little factor in Dana not wanting him to win. It's like he looks like Ariel.
Yeah, I know.
But like, I was like, damn.
Oh man, dude. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I don't know. So whatever. I mean, it was a controversial decision. One tidbit that I don't know if you guys knew that I think I tweeted about this morning or last night.
Mm-hmm.
So the judge that scored the Sabatello fight on Friday night,
The 5-0 guy?
50-45, flew to Vegas and was one of the judges in the Patty Pimblett fight and scored it 29-28 for Patty.
And the Bellator was in Connecticut. Flew across country.
Yeah.
I saw that on Twitter.
Yeah.
That is nuts. I forgot.
So,
I was like, it was one of those
saw
things.
that. I think it was Ariel
that.
that tweeted that out, but
It's weird.
yeah, crazy. I mean, there's so much you don't know about these judges, and there's no repercussion on them.
I always thought
Nothing.
the judges should
You
have
don't even
to
know who they
interview
are.
in the post-fight pressers. I thought that. I
Oh,
always
like
thought,
explain themselves?
Like Sal Diamato, whoever, sit there, you three, and answer questions from the press after the fight.
Well,
not?
that's the thing. They're not held accountable to anything.
Yeah.
There's definitely something fishy going on.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
It's always been weird to me, to be honest, that the refs are not more like, I don't know, in the limelight a little bit. Like they're
Judges,
always.
yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
the judges. They're like just kind of like pushed. They're never really talked. Like not that they're not talked about.
What about
but they-
Dana talking about that? Kind of off topic, but I'll bring it back. It's like Dana was talking about there was those guys fixing fights in the UFC and like cheating and betting and everything.
Yeah.
And he was really, I don't know. I thought it was kind of like he was trying to take some of the heat away from himself and
Right.
put it onto them. 'Cause he was like, they're going to federal fucking prison.
Yeah.
He's like, you want to try it? Be my guest. It's like, well, what about you, Dana? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like you're talking about these guys going to federal prison. Well,
Yeah. I thought.
what's going on behind closed doors that you're
Yes.
just not letting anybody know?
He got so snappy.
Like
Yeah.
he was a cock this weekend, dude.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about
sure.
that press conference now. It's like I was so taken aback by his attitude. It was just, I don't know what was going on, but he came out and said, "Oh, I'm in a good mood." And then as soon as the first question hit, about the main event, and he said the main event sucked, and then he just couldn't wait. The question wasn't even about Patty Pimblett fight or Jared Gordon, but he said one sentence about, if you watch it over again, he says one sentence about the main fight, and then he just can't wait to talk about, to say that Jared Gordon fucked up in the third round. Like, he just couldn't wait to blame that on Jared Gordon.
Well, I think when he came in saying he was in a good mood and everything, it's like that classic like dickhead shit where he's like, try me, please say something to me about it so I can just flame everybody and give my opinion, when it's like, well, I hate to say it, but about 85% of people feel the opposite.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's what I found super strange, is that you knew in his head he was going into that press conference and he wanted to say that, and he couldn't wait to say that.
Yeah.
He couldn't wait to blame
His
Jared
eyes were
Gordon.
shaking when he was walking in.
He couldn't wait to blame Jared Gordon for his game plan in the third round and blame the ref for not breaking it up.
Yeah.
Which I thought, that's a valid point. I thought the ref should have
taking them off the cage,
especially in a co-main.
and break it up because you can't just hold a guy against the cage the whole fight. But
Right.
I mean that just makes me think. It's like, what is going on? What is going on with there that he's blaming the fighters in this press conference?
I feel like we've never really seen that before
Never.
either, where he's like, oh, this guy
I've
didn't
never
have a,
seen
like,
that.
Like, man, I don't know. It's
And
just
even
weird.
even in the main event, he's blaming Blachowicz and Ankalaev for a shitty fight, basically, which I thought was a pretty good fight.
I thought it was all right. I mean,
I was gonna say,
like, it was late and we were hunting the day before, so I might have been like getting tired at the end. But Dana wasn't hunting the day before, and he might not have been up late, and he shouldn't have been zoning out past round 3.
Right, and then for him to say I zoned out in round 3, like I couldn't wait to see what was going to happen after Jan was chopping his fucking legs
I was gonna say
off.
that was in round 3. It's like we got to see Steel Jan Blachowicz just keep kicking his leg, and then you see Ankalaev go. And he's like shaking it. Like, how many times do you see anybody do that ever?
Yeah. Right.
Nobody. Like, they talked about the adrenaline going through you when you're fighting, and how nobody's really like. It's showing how strong Jan is to throw those kicks to slow down Ankalaev. Like, that's nuts. And Dave's falling asleep. It was kind of
the
boring.
other thing is, the other point I wanted to make, even if it was a boring fight, even the first 3 rounds were them standing in front of each other, it's Jan Blachowicz and fucking Ankalaev standing in front of each other.
boring.
They could throw one punch and it'd be the most, like, I'm saying these guys are so powerful. Even if it was a boring fight, they could throw one, you should be locked in, they could throw one punch and the fight could be over.
You're paying these guys how much money to not watch?
The thing is, how was it boring though? I don't understand.
It's
that.
not. It wasn't.
That's what I don't get about his comments. It's so off the wall for him to come in and say, I phased out in the 3rd round. I stopped. It's like basically saying that fight sucked. I stopped watching it.
Do we see a Dana apology by the end of the day?
Are you kidding me?
After he watches this fucking video.
He's not. He's not.
I think if you ask me, it starts with the Ariel thing, and then he so Ariel got in his head. Then Ariel posts all that shit. What have you done outside the UFC that's been great? He roasted Fuck It Friday. He roasted every little fight league or thing that he's tried to do that never made it outside of the UFC, which also had private investors. And also, Dana didn't start the UFC. He bought it, which is, I don't think, talked about enough. Second, that gets in his head. He's pissed. He's angry. He's mad. Then the Paddy Pimblett shit goes down. He's so mad. Checks his phone. Sees all that shit. He was just doubling down. Yeah.
Well, like you said earlier, it's just like a high school kid who gets it. Like, this is what I believe, and I don't care what you say.
And
I'm still believing this.
Yeah.
Like, you can say whatever you want, but I'm going to be the louder guy in the room and fucking shout you down because that's what I believe.
Well, that's what he does with every argument with Ariel. If you ever watch the videos, he just is louder.
Screams. Yeah.
He's like, you really believe that? How could you were the worst journalist? Like,
Yeah, it was literally the one video where it's like Dana's just screaming at Ariel, and it's just Ariel's just looking at him. He's like, I don't even want to respond. Dude.
yeah, I was mad at that. We were both very angry at Dana this weekend. Not fans of Dana right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that's the
I
thing.
mean, I've always been a fan of Dana White, but I just thought something weird was going on this weekend.
Me
for
too.
Sure. And like you said, with this Ariel coming out, and then he goes on Patty's podcast, and and then Ariel comes back and basically disputes every point that they made.
with receipts.
What about the thing you were telling me this morning where you're like, oh yeah, Patty walks up to Dana after he wins the fight and gives Dana a double down low high five.
Yeah,
It's
he was like Dana, and Dana walks over like this, and they like slap hands.
what's going on with that? Like, that's like, that would be like, imagine if, I don't know, like Tom Brady throws like for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns, right? But like so many missed penalties, so many missed flags. Twitter's blowing up, and then Roger Goodell goes up to Tom Brady and gives him a double down low high five. I don't think anyone would sleep.
No.
Like,
No.
Well, and here's the other thing to maybe think about. It's like, yeah, maybe Dana was mad that Patty didn't have a better performance because this is his next guy. This is the next guy he's building up. This is the next face of the UFC, apparently.
He's a money fight
And maybe
guy.
Dana realizes that he's making a big fucking mistake because he's not that good.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Something was going on there.
It's a lot.
that's the other
you're
thing
right.
too, where like, you got to figure too, like, as dumb as it sounds, like the business side of the UFC, like how much money do you think they've put into marketing Patty? Like Dana's probably so, like, actually so invested in Patty that like,
Literally.
he probably is shitting his pants. Like, holy shit, this guy's not that good. Like, am I gonna have to pay for this guy to get coaching from different people? Like, what's going on?
Right. So who knows? I just thought that it's just bizarre. There's something bizarre going on, and for him to come out and blame the fighters instead of the judges, which the only thing he came out and said about the judges, I saw somebody, was responding to one of my videos or tweets or whatever that was saying, oh, he said, these fucking judges or whatever. And I went back and watched it, and he really was saying, well, we never know really what's going to happen with the fucking judges. Is what
Oh, yeah. He was like, I've been doing this for 23 years, and I don't know, and neither do you.
Yeah.
So whatever. I mean, in other press conferences, we've seen him come out and criticize the judges, and he didn't do that here.
Yeah. That, I think, I don't know, cherry on top with this press conference of me thinking something weird is going on. I don't know. Press conference is
Yeah,
really
I'm not a
weird.
huge conspiracy theorist, but I don't know. How can you not? If you watch that over and over again, it's just clear that something, like I said before, he couldn't wait to come out and blame Jared Gordon.
Yeah.
Jared Gordon's got to be in such a weird position, too. Like, man, why does Dana hate me? Like, what the fuck did I
Man,
do?
I'm just trying to fight.
Yeah, I think it could have been anybody, though. It could have been
Yeah.
anybody in that position. But I don't know. As I'm talking about it and saying it, I really think that might be the case. It's like he's putting all his apples in one basket with Patty, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, we're promoting him, all those fucking embedded series. You watch those embeddeds, that's all Patty Pimblett almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like,
Even the UFC Instagram,
they're
like, go
just
look at it's just all
constantly-
Patty.
Yeah.
right, Patty's
the
on,
PI, like
he's
the-
on the fucking Friday thing, I think, this week, too.
Oh, jeez.
It's like, how many different promotions is Patty going to be doing?
How much do you think
Dana
that
puts
costs?
him in?
How much do you think that costs, Dana? You gotta have Patty on the F Friday thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably had to pay him a little bit.
had to
for
pay
that.
him.
I don't know.
Crazy.
I mean, oh fuck.
Oh no, Dana, you're giving me food. You don't have to pay me anything.
Yeah. So
I also don't have the best English accent. It kind of goes Irish and Russian at the same
I
time.
like it though. I like it. It's, you make it your own.
So I don't know. I mean, obviously Dana is a strong personality and comes out, and that's what I like about him. I like that he's doesn't take a lot of shit from people, but in this particular press conference, I just saw right through him.
Yeah, one thing weird. We were talking about Patty favoritism a little bit. Is he on any other fighters podcasts? Sean O'Malley's got 2 podcasts. It's never been on. I don't know. And it just seems weird.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to fact check myself on that. And maybe he has. But I thought that originally. I was like, wow, Dana's on Patty's podcast. It just seems a little weird. Like, you got your boss on, and I don't know. He's never really done shit like that with other fighters. I don't know.
It would literally be like Roger Goodell going on Travis and Jason Kelsey's podcast. Like, it's just weird.
Yeah,
Like, why would
exactly.
why would he be there? That's like collusion.
Exactly.
And-
that's what I kind of thought. It was like, I don't know. Why are they so close? Why are they all buddy-buddy? This is your boss.
I-
This is the,
I also had a weird theory that this Ankalaev Bohovic fight was going to be a draw before it started, but
oh, yeah? Dude, I mean,
because like everything going on with the belt's so weird. It's like, well, we have to give him a fight, but if we end it in a draw and then nobody gets the belt, and then we just can prolong it a little bit longer until Glover can fight somebody rightfully for the belt.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. I think
There's just some
that
weird shit
yeah,
going
I
on.
mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but that's a good one, right? I mean, he doesn't want Ankalaev to. Maybe he had it in the back of his head. It's like he also came out and announced that Glover is fighting Jamal Hill for the belt,
Yeah,
already planned. How did you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Was
it's so
that already
weird.
planned?
That's
or
what
that,
I'm saying,
or was
like,
that
how-
deal done from the time the fight ended until you walked over to the press conference and announced it?
It had to have been pre-planned, right?
But
I
that's
don't know.
what I mean with this whole draw thing too, because like I was also like, I feel like everybody, this is like, it's just like a disclaimer. Everything that I think about this shit comes from cultivating a bunch of different things I see online and making my own opinion. But like, I actually kind of do believe that like that fight was going to end in a draw before anything. Like,
Makes a lot of sense.
unless he got knocked out or one of them got submitted, which wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
It was
makes
going to be a
lot-
draw.
It makes a lot of sense because it was a fight that they kind of didn't want to make in the first place.
Yeah,
Maybe,
in a
I don't know,
5-round
man.
fight too, you can just be like,
They didn't
we'll
want-
give 2 to him, 2 to him.
They didn't want Jan fighting for the
Draw
belt
the-
again,
draw
really.
the
They
fifth.
Glover wanted to fight
And
Jan, and they said no.
Glover
we didn't
didn't
see
want to
that.
fight Ankalaev.
And think
If
about,
Ankalaev wins, he has to fight Glover.
Yeah, and then think about Dana being like, "Oh, it was a boring fight." Blah blah blah. It's like, yeah, because you said it was going to be a draw before it started.
Yeah.
like no
It's
wonder.
so weird. It's just the whole thing is so weird and so, like I said, it's just, I think it's a complete shit show. This whole thing is a complete shit show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
but I
upsetting.
think some of these guys shouldn't be overshadowed by this stupid craziness going on, like Billy Q. And I mean, congrats to these
He had a great
guys
weekend,
who had
yeah.
Oh,
great,
yeah.
who had great fights.
Him and Matt Frivola, who we
Steve
might have
Ball,
something
baby.
planned in the future with. were those two are actually teammates, if you didn't know that.
Yeah.
Billy Q and Matt Frivola trained together.
That's awesome.
But they were also partying with our boy Sugar Sean, so that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's got to be like cool for some guys like him to be able to be like, damn, dude, I'm drinking Happy Dads in Vegas with Sean O'Malley.
Yeah.
Like
That's
taking
sweet.
videos. Like that's sweet as fuck. Like whether you're a fighter or not, like you gotta probably look up to some of those guys as a fighter who's like doing what you want to do, like making a name for themselves, making lots of money, and getting those big shots and big fights.
For sure. Yeah, it's sweet. I mean, like you said, let's not overshadow people like, Billy Q or Ilya Taporia or guys like
Chris
that.
Curtis, the guys that had great fights.
Guys who
Rosenstrike. It was a good card. It was a good card, not great card. I thought, it's definitely, like I said, it was kind of sour for me to pay. Like you're charging people $85 for, for this card, but whatever. People pay it.
Yeah.
People stream it. Whatever they do.
whatever they did, they did it.
Steal it.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw this thing and it was like, or I don't know if it was real or not, but did you see how Dana put that QR code on the TV during the UFC event? Did
No.
any of you scan it?
I saw that.
I didn't see that.
Okay, so I thought somebody saw it said on Twitter that it was only on illegal streams and it was to catch you illegal streaming.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like that phone would be docked to somebody who was illegal streaming and he got you. Like, I don't know if that's true, but if it is, that's the easiest way to ever get everybody is say you're giving some shit away. You scan your
Scan
QR
this
code.
for-
This phone was one that was illegally streaming the fight. Like, watched it.
Dude.
You watched it.
Could you imagine? Like, scan this for a free UFC 282 T-shirt. Like,
I just wonder like if they ever caught somebody who like illegally streamed like everything. Like and they tried to hit him with one of those like LimeWire Frostbite type beats, if you remember that, where they got that one like 12-year-old, 14-year-old girl for like $1 million because she had like 1 million songs on her phone in like the 2012, 2013, and she didn't pay for any of them, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna sue you for all that money. And movies, like I remember back in the day, it was a big deal if you had like a bunch of illegal movies and stuff, they could get you like pirating.
Yeah.
Nowadays, like if you don't have a Fire Stick, you're lacking.
Yeah, right.
So I guess we're lacking.
Yeah, I guess we're
Yeah,
lacking.
yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. Every time it seemed like I haven't heard Dana talk about this in in a while, but he's definitely like, oh, we're gonna get you. We're gonna get you, going after you. You got somebody. I know he used to brag about that, whatever. But I don't know. I've tried that a couple times. Every time I don't know. It just the link seems so sketchy, and it's like I don't know what I'm like. I don't know. I don't want something downloaded to my computer that like I have no idea who to trust for any of those.
If you ever
links,
need,
so it's like, I'll just
stream.
pay the $85.
Yeah, if you ever need a stream though, theoretically, DM me on Twitter. Might be able to find you something.
Yeah, we got you.
Might be able to find you a song. We got a couple.
I don't know.
But
Yeah.
that's more for NHL because they want to black everything out. So if you want to watch your
Or,
local
like-
hockey team, you can't. So you got to find these streams. But like you're 100% right with there's like two different types of streaming websites. There's the one that gives you all the available streams, and then there's the one that like you skip that and go to that website.
Yeah.
And there's some of them you go on and you're like, man, I don't think I should click this. Like if I click this could shut the whole thing down.
we could
But
be
also like
screwed.
never go on those websites on a laptop. You do it on an Xbox or an iPhone.
I was gonna say,
Like,
yeah,
that's it.
We do it on like a
That's it.
Xbox.
If you do it on that,
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. It's just sketch. It's real
Yeah, that's
sketch.
what I feel like. I feel like I'm definitely would just rather pay the money. I don't want to fuck around with that.
But like
Just
you
think
were
about it. It's
saying-
like you don't pay $85 and then you lose like a $2,000 laptop because it's like just.
But it's really a business expense for us. So.
Yeah,
there you
but
go.
we can't talk about it if we don't watch it.
Exactly. But
Exactly.
like for like Thursday night football, I wanted to say that it's only on Amazon Prime. We're not paying for Amazon.
What happened
Prime
the
for
other
fucking
day?
17 games a week. But we got the Bills game on Thursday, so
Yeah, that
cool.
was because it was a local
Oh,
broadcast.
that was a local broadcast.
Okay, yeah, we were like, well, don't worry about it. We're
We
fine.
were like, yeah. At one point, one of us was like, "Wait, it's Thursday. We're watching football." We're like,
I think I was like, don't touch it.
yeah. You were like, "Don't touch it. Don't even talk about it."
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Oh, it's funny.
One other fight thing that I wanted to mention was just that obviously Billy Q, 716, Lockport native, got the win this weekend. But then also Patchy Mix at Bellator. We had mentioned it a little bit earlier, but he's going to be a problem. I see him making his way to the UFC after he wins the Bellator Grand Prix and locking in that $1 million plus all the other money he's making. We also looked into how much these Bellator guys get paid for like the 3 main event fights. About $100,000 to show up.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
So Patchy Mix probably brought home, I could be so wrong, but I would assume over $100,000 for the win, and then now he has a fight coming up against Rafael Stotts, who I think he beats the shit out of.
Yeah.
And
We
takes
can
home
talk a
$1
little
million
bit
bucks.
about that.
Yeah, like the Sabatello Stotts fight.
Yeah. So whatever. All right.
Yeah, you want to touch on Bellator a little bit?
Back at it. Joe had to go to the
Back at it.
bathroom or leave. One or the other. Jared just sprained his knee.
Man, you ever hit like razor scooter like right on your ankle? That's what I'm going through right now.
There's a Razor scooter down there?
No, but like like the.
I know. I've done it 100 times picking up scooters from you guys, but
Cool.
back at so yeah, just touch a little bit on the Bellator. I mean, obviously main card, main fight, their $1 million, tournament going on.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's a cool little thing they're doing. I mean, the Grand Prix.
Yeah, I mean it's good, but like Joe was mentioning about Patchy Mix, I think he is out of anybody that I've seen, definitely the person that may come out of Bellator and come into the UFC.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
don't know. Take away, I don't know. It's such a lower level of fighting. I don't know if it was the Stotts and Sabatello fight that was just lame in my opinion. It was just I don't get it. Like I didn't get why Sabatello was just like there was no ground strikes thrown.
Yeah, there was nothing. If he did a little bit of ground and pound, he would have won the fight.
I mean, and even Stotts on the feet, he just doesn't look that good.
No.
Like I don't like both of those guys, like in my opinion, are just not, they're not that great of fighters.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, like you said, seemed like
I
a
hate
lower
talking
level.
like that because I'm an idiot and I'm not a UFC fighter, but from what I've seen,
Yeah.
it's like from what I've seen in that fight, Stotts did barely enough to win.
Yeah.
And if Sabatello would have landed a couple punches on the ground, he would have won.
Right.
Because he
Right.
did control the ground a lot.
He controlled them a lot. And it goes back to the whole, how much does controlling mean? And when it comes
It
to
doesn't
points and
mean
whatnot.
much when you don't do anything with it. And they're
Right.
right. If you don't do anything, like I thought that Sabatello did nothing with it on the ground.
Agreed.
So when you have somebody down and you got to at least throw punches, throw elbows, do something, but he was just holding on to him the whole time, basically.
Yeah, no, agreed. It was kind of frustrating to watch. I mean, I don't not like Sabatello anymore. I think he's a great personality and, whatever.
No, I just thought that
we
if
see some.
I thought he made a big mistake. I just thought that he's a better grappler and he's got to take advantage of that grappling when he's on the ground.
Yeah.
I thought his striking was pretty good. Like I think it was better than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
Threw some really good kicks.
Yeah.
Caught Stotts with a good front kick. Question mark kick was,
I was going to
really
say,
good.
it looked like at one point he was going to try to use the front kick to keep Stotts away a little bit, which would have been cool. Maybe
Yeah.
a better game plan on the feet, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean Stotts was definitely the better boxer, I thought, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I just thought the fight was so lower level in my opinion. It almost looked like they were trying not to hurt each other. I don't know. That's just the way I
Trying not to
like
do damage.
You
Yeah.
watch a UFC. I mean, you watch some of these UFC fights. I mean,
Yeah.
I know I keep talking about the Billy Q fight, but I mean, these guys come out and they're looking to land damage, and it shows.
Oh yeah, I mean they're fucking look at Rosenstrike. I mean they're
it's
going
just
out there guns
nuts.
blazing, trying to hurt the other guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're trying.
and I
to
don't
get him out
know
of
if
there.
that's because it's such a a higher level of fighting, or it's just maybe how this fight turned out. But I don't know. I just thought the fight was kind of lame.
Yeah.
But whatever, it is what it is. Congrats to Stotts, but he's going up against Patchy Mix. I do think Patchy Mix is going to beat him.
Our boy Patchy should get it done. Definitely.
Yeah, I think we're looking at that, and yeah, I mean that's Sabatello has work to do for sure if he thinks he's going to go anywhere or be one of the next great fighters. I mean, obviously good wrestler.
Yeah.
He looked better on the feet, like I said, but I mean the game plan on the ground was just it's terrible.
Not good.
Terrible.
Not good.
So.
But it's all right.
So it is what it is. But yeah, so there it is. We can wrap
Yeah.
things up and
Cool.
our
UFC
UFC 282 review.
Left us with a lot to think about, talk about, and yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like a weird card.
Yeah, I don't know.
Weird-
it was so
weird
screwed
weekend.
up. I'm just disappointed in the whole thing. I'm disappointed in Dana's reaction. His,
Right.
Obviously he came into that press conference. Whatever. We talked about it already, but it just seems such like a weird reaction for him and almost a childish reaction on his part coming in, acting the way he did.
Right.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, it's just upsetting. Like
Not that like whatever I totally think differently, but like it definitely I don't know how I feel about Dana White right now. It just sucks because I've always loved him.
Yeah, no, I still like him. Still think he's, does amazing things. But for him to come out and act like he did and appear to have some agenda that we don't know about,
Right.
or whatever he was, there was obviously something there, obviously something that, for him to come out and instantly be on the edge about what happened at UFC 282.
Yeah.
It just makes you think. It just makes you think there's something going on.
For sure. And like I said, it's upsetting. And,
Yeah.
whatever. We'll
Whatever,
move on and figure
we'll
it
keep
out.
reporting.
And, yeah, we'll
And,
keep you updated on all the
Yeah.
all the good stuff. Good stuff or not so good stuff, actually.
Yeah, whatever. We'll talk about it.
It was a good card. Had some great fights, and like you said earlier, you don't want to overshadow anyone who had good fights by all this bullshit. But yeah, good card.
Yep.
Enjoyed watching as always, and yeah. All
Yep.
right. Appreciate you guys being here.
Good deal.
See you
All
next
right.
time.
See you next
Try to get
time.
this out posted today. So yeah, all right. Have a good one.
Perfect.